Okay, so on to the next track in the Craven's Crescendo custom series by Campbell Cravens, man. Okay, we are currently on the Mike Shinoda album. We did a few Linkin Park tracks, and then we got back into the Mike Shinoda album. A bit confusing. If you want to sort of catch up in terms of where we are right now, you can go to my last video where I talk about the Mike Shinoda album. We did do a couple of reactions to some of those songs in that album that were dropped a while ago. So we kind of like just picked up where we left off, and we're carrying on. So the last song we did now in this particular series was Nothing Makes Sense Anymore, and then that's still dealing with Chester Bennington's death, and now we're going on to About You featuring Blackbear in that same post-traumatic or post-trauma album, and we're just gonna carry on his journey actually dealing with the pain of Chester Bennington's death, right? So if you want to know anything about that, just go to that video over there. This is a custom series. For those of you who want some more information on custom series that we do for people, the link is in the pinned comment. So let's carry on. Mike Shinoda, About You featuring Blackbear. Let's see what we got over here.
Even when it's not about you, all of a sudden it's about you now. Oh, even when it's not about you, all of a sudden it's about you now. Oh, even when it's not about you, all of a sudden it's about you now. Oh, even when it's not about you.
I like that over there. I'm assuming obviously that is Blackbear, but the actual, what I'm assuming will be the hook, is saying like, even when it's not about you, it somehow becomes about you. So I kind of feel it's like, even when he tries to make things not about Chester Bennington, somehow it just slips back into that lane about Chester Bennington, right? So he's kind of trying to, I think it's going to be a one of those sort of trying to work through that, trying to work through, not everything in life has to be, in my life, has to be about you. At some point there needs to be a point of letting go. That's just my assumption at this point.
It's about you now. Even when it's not about you, all of a sudden it's about you.
This is that gather round it and wonder where I found it. This is that wake up, make your agent have your Tory routed. This is that drama, comma, pain, and ain't no way around it. Cause somehow still it's hard to know what I can say about it. I buckled up, told myself to suck it up. I was scared to death to get up there and spill my fucking guts. I was saying pull your stupid self together, buttercup. Get it cracking back in black until you have them thunderstruck.
I love already where he's going with this. This is already a song about actually trying to lift him up and trying to say that, you know, your life is not, it's not over. You still have an existence. You still have to do something, right? And you can sit around and you can mope the entire time. It doesn't help the situation. It doesn't bring Chester Bennington back. You're still an artist that makes music and that loves this art. And at some point you need to start letting go of this pain. At some point you need to buck up and deal with the fact that this is what it is. You need to get back into your art form, and you can't make everything about him, because at the end of the day, it's very negative, and it's going to keep you in a very dark space. And I kind of think that this song is kind of like that release point. It's that point of like, let me try and just get back into my artistry and let go a little. Let me let that raft go. I'll still see it, but let me let that raft go and start trying to make peace with it through what I love, which is my artistry. That's just what I perceive this to be so far.
Self together, buttercup. Get it cracking back in black until you have them thunderstruck.
Hey,
Even when
hard
it's
love.
not about you, all of a sudden it's about you now. Oh, even when it's not about you, all of a sudden it's about you.
No, there's not a single thing that I can say, not a single solitary. Every meaning changes shape, even when there's no connection back to you in any line. All of a sudden it's about you, and it gets me every time. But
it would be though. It would be because you shared the stage, you shared the space, you shared your art form with this man, right? You shared your art form with Chester Bennington. So over there, you've got the commonality, you've got the connection. That connection's always going to bring Chester Bennington back into your art form. Anything you think about, any lyrics you think about, somehow your mind is automatically going to connect that to how would Chester sing that? How would Chester deliver that? How would me and Chester collaborate on this? How would all the time, because they had that synchronicity for all of their time, and all of a sudden that got severed, right? So he's desperately looking for that connection, someone to bounce that off of, and that person's no longer there, right? So it's going to be about him until he eventually lets that go.
What the fuck is left to author anyway, when I've basically been writing since the Raiders ran LA? I'm afraid that maybe I've said everything there is to say. Maybe I should make an exit while there are ways to get away.
Can't find no words to a memory, but these are just words to our melody. Find something that works, fits the symmetry, but only a quick broken remedy.
Yeah.
And I give anything to choose. Pick out the words I bring home to you.
I like what he said there about a quick remedy, because there's no remedy to any of this, right? All you have is little moments of I think distractions to try and just deal with all of this. It's all chaotic at the end of the day. There's no okay, if I do this, there's no linear sort of strategy that you can take where you say, okay, if I start at this point and I just carry on down this line, this is just how I deal with this trauma, right? There's no recipe to that. There's no remedy to that. All it is it's just this haphazard existence that as things come, it comes, man. You deal with it, you don't deal with it. You have a high moment, you have a low moment. You have a moment where you're completely numb and don't care. You have a moment where you like, you know what, I'm going to actually tackle this. And this is basically what the song is. I'm going to tackle this head on, and I'm going to say, I'll stop being a pussy. You get that strength for a day. And then afterwards, the next day, you'll get thrown back into the throes of depression. Right? So I like that. There's no quick remedy to any of this. You literally wherever it takes you is wherever it takes you. And at some point, you will get that grip back on reality and realize that you can take your life back. But it all comes over time. Time is what really heals everything.
How can I make do? Put a smile on, change my attitude. And even though it's not about you, everything is all about you. All about you.
About you. All of a sudden it's about you now. Even when it's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you now. Even when it's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you now. Even when it's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you.
I like this song though.
It's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you now. Even when it's not about you.
See, I'm loving the 808s on this though. That I like it, really cool.
About you now. Even when it's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you. Even when it's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you now. Even when it's not about you. All of a sudden it's about you.
Great track. Actually, that is probably one of my favorites on the album there as well, because what I like about it is there's fight in this now. Like now, it's almost like he's starting to, he's starting to get over that hill, essentially. So he's starting to see that maybe he can see the horizon in the distance, maybe, right? But the only way he can do that is by being strong. The only way he can do it is through tough love. It's through actually kicking himself, and it's through actually telling him, okay, yes, you're in pain, but you need to get up. Chester wouldn't want you to be in this state of complete paralysis. He doesn't want you to be docile. He'd want you to live on. He'd want you to pursue greater things. So he's kind of like, now you can see he's building his strength over here. You can see that there's starting to be a turn over here. And I think at some point, I'm not entirely sure if it's this track or the next one or the one before, where crossing a line, the song Crossing a Line was, and I think crossing the line was the point where he starts to turn, right? He starts to come out of that depression a bit. You start seeing the light. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. You guys let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.